Hey there guys, this is Sam
and Justin
at the Survival Review, and today we're talking about the third bad movie that I've talked about this year.
Yep.
Tremors 6, A Cold Day in Hell. It's not even Tremors 6, they didn't have the balls to put a 6 on it.
No.
I guess they're as embarrassed as they should be.
Almost 3 years ago, Tremors 5 came out, which we were excited for, because like we said in that video, we love the Tremors franchise. You know, they're a ton of fun movies, even though, like, except for the first one, you know, they're all straight to video. The sequels were a lot of fun, really entertaining, and then we watched Tremors 5.
Yes.
It was not good.
Yeah.
And also, before getting into all this, we know that it's straight to video. Like, we know that it's not going to be the highest quality movie. We're not expecting the first Tremors or anything to that level.
In fact, I'm not even necessarily expecting the quality of, like, Tremors 2.
No.
Because that's a pretty good straight-to-video movie.
But that being said, Tremors 5 was majorly disappointing.
Yeah, it's just so bland and forgettable and dumb and annoying.
Yeah.
And a lot of that could be said about Tremors 6.
Yeah, it's a lot more of the same, but slightly better than Tremors 5.
Yeah, slightly.
Slightly. I mean, it's better in that we actually have graboids in this movie.
Yeah?
That was the worst part of the last movie, is that the graboids didn't appear until the climax of the movie. And that was it. And this one, the graboids are like the main adversary in this movie. And when you see the graboids, they're actually pretty good. Like, the effects are pretty solid for a direct-to-video movie on the actual graboid. Like, those are really good. Like, when the little, like, tentacle things come out of its mouth, that's kind of dodgy, but whatever.
But yeah, the graboid itself looks decent.
There's some fun sequences with it.
Yes.
Like, the first time you see it in, like, the pre-title sequence, that part was awesome. That was a fun moment.
Even though the snow is, like, the fakest looking shit that I've ever seen. That was the first telling sign of the movie where I'm like, oh, God. So
this movie does have more focus on graboids, which is good. This movie does have, you know, Michael Gross back as Bert, and he's always fun as usual. Yeah. He's always entertained to watch. He's always giving it his all. Although, like, I kind of had a little bit of problem with that. He was a little too just kind of, like, loud and kind of yelly. Like, he felt more of, like, a caricature of Burt Gummer than the actual character at times.
Yeah, I think that's less so him and more so, like, the direction and the writing. Those are both big issues with this movie. Yeah, because the writing kind of treats him as, like, the Ash Williams character, where he's like, oh, he's this, like, classic, like, iconic hero of the franchise. Yeah. But he really isn't. Not really. He's the eccentric side character. But that being said, he's still fun. Like, Michael Gross is still fun to watch. Jamie Kennedy is back in this movie. Yes, probably our least favorite part of Tremors 5.
Oh, yeah. Really
obnoxious in Tremors 5. Yeah. He's less obnoxious in this movie, more creepy.
Yeah.
He just kind of looks gross these days and acts gross too.
Yeah, some of his dialogue, like the opening scene where Bert is on the phone with this lady from the Arctic, and his first line that Jamie Kennedy is just like, "Is she hot?"
Yeah.
Graboids do not and cannot exist in the Arctic, Dr. Sims. Impossible.
Ask her if she's hot.
Which, whatever. He's just being Jamie Kennedy, stupid, whatever. But he keeps going with it.
Yeah.
And when he meets her in person, he's just constantly hitting on her and being really just weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
none of it's charming or anything. It's just why would anybody fall for him?
Yeah, it's just annoying. I don't know. I just hate him.
Yeah, he was a tiny bit more bearable in this one.
Yeah.
And there is more of an attempt to have kind of more of a classic Tremors feel in this one. The other movies always kind of had a big ensemble cast, and the fifth one didn't really have that, and most of the time the characters were split up anyway. This one has a core cast of characters to follow, and so it kind of tries to be more Tremors, have more of that feel to it.
Yeah, but the whole setup for this setting is completely fucked.
Oh, this is the one part, I'm not going to really complain too much about this movie or really say, I was really mad at it, but this is the one part that legit annoys me in this movie. So this movie is advertised as Tremors in the Arctic.
Yes, it's Tremors in ice and snow and all that. And you get to the Arctic, and somebody goes, "Oh man, it's the Arctic summer. It sure is warm." And they're just shooting in a desert, mountains and shit. And I'm just how lazy can you get? They didn't even try to make it look.
There's no point of setting it in the Arctic.
Yes.
And what's worse is you have actual promise with that, because that's a cool concept. Yeah. And the pre-title sequence, which takes place in a snowstorm, a bunch of snow and everything, works. It's actually a really cool setup, and it's like they had an idea to make it different because this is Tremors 6, but they didn't have the money to do it. And that's kind of the flaw with most of this movie. What's weird is that, like, this movie looks better than some of the earlier, like, direct-to-video sequels, you know? Because, you know, direct-to-video movies nowadays are able to look better than how they were back then. But it feels cheaper.
Yeah. Not only does it feel cheaper, just, like, visually, but also just whoever was writing it.
Yeah.
It was just awful.
And again, we're not expecting, like, high-quality, like, Oscar-worthy writing for these movies.
No, but the dialogue is some of the most on-the-nose, stupid dialogue I've ever heard.
Yeah, no joke really landed in this movie at all, either.
And just some of the exposition is just, like, so in your face of, like, this is who I am and this is what I do and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, ah.
Compared to the other straight-to-video sequels, like, those had more interesting stuff going on in them than this one. And they don't even really try to evolve, like, the Graboids or anything.
Yeah.
The previous sequels always tried to introduce something new. And this one doesn't. This one kind of has, like, an idea where, like, the Graboid they unleashed was probably, like, the earliest evolution of the species and what started all. That's why they look kind of different.
Yeah.
But that's really all it is.
Yeah.
The design looks slightly different. And it does look cool. Like, it looks fine, you know.
It's neat enough.
Yeah, but they didn't really add anything to it. This doesn't really add anything.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because there's also the introduction of Val, the daughter of Val from the original film, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's daughter.
It's completely pointless.
There's no need to, yeah.
She could have just been whatever scientist lady and you're good.
Yeah.
I mean, she was going to be a flat character no matter what. Now she's just a flat character with a name that we recognize.
It's the biggest coincidence ever that the daughter of Val would be in the Arctic.
It's so stupid.
At the time that there's a Graboid, like, attack.
Yeah, it's just such a okay moment.
And, you know, even me being, like, picky on this, like, she has, like, this really great, like, knowledge of weapons and, like, snipers and stuff like that. And I'm like, Val never came off to me as the guy who would teach her daughter how to use, like, automatic weapons and stuff like that. He was like a cowboy, basically, you know, in the original movie.
Yeah, in the original movie, he was just like a lazy dude, like finding work when he could and like hanging out with his friend.
Yeah,
like,
and so he turned him into this like badass who taught his daughter like all this information on weapons and to make her a badass. So it's like, what?
Yeah, it feels really forced and
it is, yeah,
and pointless.
Oh yeah. Honestly, she would have been more fitting as like the long lost daughter to Burt than Jamie Kennedy was.
Seriously, I might have cared slightly more then.
I might have actually bought that. Yeah.
Yeah, rather than the daughter of a character we haven't seen in 5 movies.
Yeah, there's an idea that I feel like if they actually developed it in a different way, it could have been interesting. Because throughout the movie, you see that Burt is getting sick. Yeah, he's infected with something. And maybe if it was like, oh, the Graboid that attacked him, like, you know, infected him, and because that was like the first Graboid ever, so maybe he had some sort of like weird disease. Then okay, that's interesting. But no.
The way that they describe that he's sick is like, did you come in contact, like really close contact with a Graboid? And it flashes back to Tremors 3 when he got eaten by a Graboid and got out, and somehow this movie that was, what, 15?
Over 15 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, however many years ago it was. Now suddenly it's caught up with him, and it's critical. He's going to die in like a couple days.
Yeah.
It's so tacked on. I couldn't write a lazier script if I tried.
And even though, like, I was saying that it's cool that they have like a big core cast of characters and everything, yeah, every character is like 100% forgettable. And
like a thing that I thought was really frustrating is nobody was taking anything seriously.
Yeah.
There's a point in one scene where the Graboid is attacking. I forget exactly what it's doing, but it's supposed to be like kind of an intense scene. And this one character keeps like going, oh, and drinking his energy drink like an idiot. And it's just like, is this supposed to be comedy?
And that was set up for something later, but even that was stupid.
Exactly.
The payoff was dumb.
You could have cut all of that out. It was really dumb. There were no characters that I particularly liked. I don't know. Most of the movie was just, like we said, in one ear, out the other.
Like I know we're completely trashing on it. Yeah. I don't think it's like awful by any means, and by like a random direct-to-video standard, it's I guess decent enough. Like it looks decent enough. Like I said, the effects are pretty good. So on that note, it's not awful, but it's just like, you've seen it before, you know, and there's nothing really new or exciting about it. So just kind of like you just lose interest. Like the movie's only 90 minutes, and you still just like lose interest in the middle of it.
And we probably shouldn't expect too much.
No. We know that it's a straight-to-video sequel. You know, it's a low budget and all that kind of stuff. And straight-to-video movies don't have the best track record of being good. But when like the first couple direct-to-video Tremors sequels are really entertaining, and so that's the standard we hold it up to.
Yeah. Is
those first few direct-to-video sequels, which were actually good and actually like really enjoyable follow-ups to the original movie.
Yeah, they're not perfect by any means, and they don't hold up nearly as well as the first one.
No.
But you know what? They entertain me, and I can't really say the same for this.
Yeah, I mean they entertain us to the point where we were hyped for a direct-to-video sequel, like with Tremors 5.
I'd say at this point, the Tremors franchise is dead. It should have died a long time ago, really. Well, one thing we haven't brought up at all is the Tremors TV show that was going to happen.
Yeah.
That is officially canned.
Yeah, that sounds so much more interesting than what we're getting with these sequels.
Yeah, they shot the pilot, but who knows what'll ever happen to that? We'll probably never see it.
No, yeah, probably not. But they got, I mean, how could you not want to pick up a Tremors TV show starring Kevin Bacon?
No. I would much rather see that than anything we've gotten in Tremors 5 or 6.
I hope with like Kevin Bacon's like recent resurgence and giving a crap about Tremors, that maybe like after they scrap the show, maybe they should come back and do like one more movie, like an actual theatrical film.
Yeah.
That can, because I know like I think the main reason why they weren't having like Burt Gummer appear in the TV show is because they didn't want to mess with like the continuity of the movies. They didn't want to have to acknowledge all the sequels that most people probably haven't seen.
Yeah.
But you can easily like bypass that and have Burt Gummer in a new movie with Kevin Bacon. You just got to mention that like offhand. Oh yeah, he's been hunting graboids for a while now.
Yeah,
and that's it.
You just say that,
and you have a fun reunion movie. Like that's all the craze now is like soft reboots.
Exactly.
That's what I feel they should do for the next movie. Like we don't really even need a TV show to begin with. We don't need a Tremors 7. Just do a theatrical film, get Kevin Bacon back, get Fred Ward back, get Michael Gross, because Michael Gross is still entertaining and great as the character. You got a fun movie.
Yeah. It'll never happen.
No.
Tremors is dead.
Well, no, there's probably going to be another straight-to-video sequel.
Yeah, but it's dead in my eyes, basically. And it should have been dead after 5, but I was looking forward to that show, and so now that that's gone, I don't know.
And even I was kind of like interested in this one because it did look like cooler than the 5th one. It looked like it was going to be trying a little bit more. But what we got was, like I said, like we're not saying it's the worst movie ever, like complete garbage.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot worse. We've seen a lot worse this year already.
Yeah. But it's just so, it's kind of there, and like I lost interest like while watching it. And even like I was telling him, I was watching it with my girlfriend who loves Tremors, and she was actually really excited for this one. And halfway through, she was playing on her iPad. That shows you, like.
Yeah, it's doesn't keep your attention.
No.
Doesn't have any interesting characters really, and
except for Burt. Burt's always fun.
No new established characters.
No. It was weird that Burt, for some reason, has a Cubs hat on throughout this movie.
Yeah, like right off the bat, it's some kind of gag. It's like, you changed teams? No, I just changed hats.
And part of me is like, oh, that's cool, because he has a hat. He has a Cubs hat, and I like that.
We're Chicago guys, so,
So part of me is like, oh, that's neat, but it was so random.
It's so weird.
It was just so, like, randomly there, like.
And it's like, maybe Michael Gross is actually just a Cubs fan in real life, and he was just like, I'll wear my hat in the movie.
I like that it was there, but I was like, this is so random as hell. But okay.
Just strange.
Yeah.
Just strange. And I'd say that's about all we've got to say about Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell.
Yeah.
Not worth your time.
No.
Wouldn't recommend it. Go watch the first Tremors.
Oh yeah. And watch like 2 and 3, you know.
And then you're good.
I mean, 4 from what I remember had some enjoyable bits, but I don't remember too much of it.
All I remember is Bert's great grandfather or whatever has a cannon.
But it's still like technically better than 5 and 6, I would say.
I'm sure it was.
But either way, that's Tremors 6. We'll most likely be back when Tremors 7 hits video next year. But
but until then, we'll see you guys later.